In total defiance of Israel, the incoming president, and even members of his own party, President Obama refused to veto a UN resolution condemning Israeli settlements, allowing it to pass the Security Council resoundingly, a rare abandonment of a long-held U.S. tenet to have Israel's back at the UN.
It is because this resolution reflects the facts on the ground and is consistent with U.S. policy across Republican and Democratic administrations throughout the history of the State of Israel that the United States did not veto it.
President Obama has long held the settlements were an obstacle to peace, a huge source of conflict with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Israel's UN ambassador said in a statement he had expected his country's, quote, greatest ally to act in accordance with the values that we share, and that they would have vetoed this disgraceful resolution. The vote brings to a head a standoff between the current and future U.S. presidents over Mideast peace. And Israel's representative at the UN said he hopes the Trump administration will be more sympathetic. Trump himself tweeted tersely, "As to the UN, things will be different after January 20th. The vote was initially delayed Thursday after a diplomatic scramble by Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who reached out to President-elect Trump to intervene. When Trump sent out a statement calling for a U.S. veto, Egyptian President Sisi, whose country sponsored the resolution, put the vote on hold. And it wasn't President Obama he called to discuss the future of Mideast peace, but the president-elect. Behind the scenes, U.S. officials are grumbling that Trump's interference runs afoul of an unspoken custom, that there can only be one commander-in-chief at a time. But publicly, the State Department appeared unfazed.
Nobody here felt boxed in by a tweet from the president-elect, and he's perfectly entitled to express his views on these kinds of things.
It's hard to know to what extent Trump's involvement affected the outcome, but his spokesman made clear this president-elect won't be staying on the sidelines until he takes office next month.
President Obama and his team have been unbelievably gracious to the president-elect and his team, but at the end of the day, he's not someone that's going to sit back and wait.